Have you ever stopped to wonder how your phone or your smart speaker actually understands you? I don't just mean hearing the words you say, but really getting what you mean. Well, that little bit of magic is called natural language processing, and it's the AI that's finally bridging that huge gap between our messy human language and cold, hard machine logic.
I'm willing to bet you have. Come on, just think about the last time you searched for something online without typing a single thing. You were tapping into some seriously sophisticated technology, probably without even thinking twice about it. That's right. Every single time you do a voice search or chat with Siri or ask Alexa to play a song, you are using natural language processing, or NLP for short. It's one of the most powerful and common forms of AI, and you know what? It's already a massive part of our daily lives. So let's dive into our first section, the AI you use daily. Because this really isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It's the invisible engine running behind so many things we already do every single day.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Asking Siri for the weather, telling Alexa to add something to your shopping list, using a translation app to figure out a menu on vacation, or just dictating a quick text while you're driving. All of those things, they're all powered by NLP. It's the tech that makes our devices feel less like tools and, well, a little more like partners.
But here's a really important distinction to make. NLP is so much more than a computer just hearing your words. It's about the computer understanding them. So let's break down what that difference really looks like.
Okay, this is probably the best way to think about it. You've got voice recognition. Think of that as just the ears. Its job is to hear your speech and turn it into digital text. Simple enough. But NLP? That's the brain. It takes that text and then has to figure out the meaning, your intent, and all the crucial context around it.
So to put a more formal definition on it, NLP is that whole field of AI that gives computers the power to not just hear, but to truly understand, interpret, and even generate human language, whether we're talking about speech or just plain old text. And this is where the real power of context just shines through. If you say the word club, how on earth does an AI know what you mean? Well, that's NLP's whole job. It has to analyze everything else in the sentence and the situation to figure out if you're talking about a sandwich, a social group, a golf course, or a night out. So how does the brain actually do all that? How does it get from just a string of words to actually getting what you want? Let's pull back the curtain and walk through the process.
All right, let's use a simple creative prompt as our example. You want a slogan, you want it to be exciting, and it's for a coffee shop. Now, to you and me, that's super straightforward, but to an AI, it's actually a puzzle that it needs to solve one step at a time.
This whole first part is a process called text pre-processing. First, it makes everything simple by converting all the text to lowercase. Then it does something called tokenization, which is just a fancy way of saying it breaks the sentence into individual words. After that, it gets rid of all the clutter, filler words like an, for, Then comes stemming, which is cool. It finds the root of keywords, so exciting just becomes excite. And finally, it analyzes what's left to figure out the real goal.
And after all that cleaning and filtering and analyzing, what's the end result? The AI gets it. It understands the user wants a positive, exciting slogan for a coffee shop. And then it can dive into its massive language brain to generate creative options that actually fit the request. It's a whole journey from messy human language to a creative idea.
But this technology isn't just for cooking up fun slogans. It is a genuinely transformative tool in the business world and, of course, in our personal lives. Let's take a look at how.
A perfect example from the business world is customer service chatbots. Take Delta's virtual assistant. By using NLP, it can understand a huge range of what customers are asking for, from changing a flight to finding baggage info, and it can handle thousands of those requests at the exact same time, all without a human needing to get involved. And it goes way beyond just chatbots. Businesses are using NLP for what's called sentiment analysis, basically reading millions of social media posts to see how the public feels about them. They use it in recruiting to scan thousands of resumes in seconds. They even use it to take hours of boring meeting notes and summarize them into just the key points. But for me, one of the most powerful and, frankly, amazing applications is in accessibility. NLP can actually look at a picture online, understand what's in it, and then generate a description. It's called alt text. That text can then be read out loud by a screen reader, making the visual web accessible for people with visual impairments. That's a total game changer.
And whether we're talking about customer service or analyzing data, the key advantage for any organization is this. These NLP-powered tools work 24/7. They don't sleep, they don't take coffee breaks, they can provide support around the clock. That is a massive, massive leap in efficiency.
So what's next? If NLP is already this powerful, where does it even go from here? Well, the answer is that it's starting to evolve beyond just language.
The next big frontier is something called multimodal AI, and a leading example of this is Google's Gemini. The whole idea here is that human communication isn't just about text or speech, it's a mix of everything.
So what exactly is multimodal AI? Well, it's an AI that isn't stuck with just one type of information. It can seamlessly understand, process, and even combine info from text, from computer code, from audio, and from images, all at the same time. This lets it reason about things in a way that's much, much closer to how we humans do it.
So what does this mean in practice? It means you're not limited to just typing or talking anymore. You could, say, upload a photo of the ingredients in your fridge, type the question, "What can I make for dinner?" and then say out loud, "and make it a healthy recipe." The AI can take all three of those things, the image, the text, the speech, and put them together to give you a single, coherent answer. And that really brings us to the final big thought. We've gone from typing clunky commands to literally having conversations with our technology. The barrier between us and our machines is just dissolving. So as this incredible tech keeps evolving, what will you ask it to do next? What will you ask it to create or solve or discover?